Hey everybody, today on the Geek Perspective, the horror movie The Rental. Stay tuned. Welcome to today's episode of the Geek Perspective. Seems like it's been forever, but we are back and we're doing the movie The Rental, which I had never heard of. And today, of course, my main man, my bro from a different mo, Tom. What's going on, man?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
all right. Been a long couple weeks. We haven't seen you in like forever.
Yeah, we haven't hung out in person in a while. It's just winter. It gets dark and depressing here, and now it's getting nice. Next week, we'll doing that little challenge and hang out, do a barbecue.
Yes, as Tom was saying that next week we are getting together with our other co-host has been around a month. Derek, yes, he's still alive. He's working hard, doing a lot of working. His job's been crazy, so he hasn't been on much at all. But he has a challenge. It's not a spicy challenge. He won't do spicy. He won't do much of anything. The man only eats what? Chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and hot dogs.
French fries,
French
right?
fries,
Pizza,
Wendy's, pizza, and I think
cheese.
only pepperoni or cheese, right?
Yeah, it's like cheese or pepperoni. At the most, I think it's pepperoni. It's
Yeah,
he's very picky eater.
very picky. So
So
yeah, so we're doing that. We're gonna be hanging out, and Tom has something for me actually, and we might record a video to be released at a later date on that. So you want to check out the live show for the challenge, and then maybe we'll release it the next day or something. But yeah, we got a lot going on next week, and this week we have something going on. But before I get into that, Tom has another adventure going on. You want to talk about that, Tom, real quick?
oh yeah, geez, that's right. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So Shay and I have a new podcast. It is not a video podcast. We may release video later. We're kicking around a couple ideas. Like doing a fun sort of blooper from our recordings, and maybe at some point, we even a Patreon type style. But we're not focusing on the video, but it's podcast. It's on all major podcast platforms or podcatchers. Um, you know, iHeartRadio, Spotify. It will be on Apple Podcasts very soon. It's confirmed. We're just waiting for it to get uploaded to it. It's called the Scare Your Pants Off, Our American Road Trip podcast, and in it, Shay and I discuss different hauntings and different cryptids and different strange encounters, which could be like UFO or anything. It's kind of strange encounters is kind of a broad category, and each week we go to a different state and we discuss one cryptid, one haunting, and one strange encounter from that state. And yeah, we did the first season will be 25 episodes, so we're doing half. Then we're going to do a second season of something different, and then come back for season 3. Will be the second half of the states, because we are planning to go to all 50. And yeah, check it out on any of your major podcast platforms. There are 2 episodes right now. Our road trip first started in Mass and then to Rhode Island. So they're up right now on there. Definitely check them out. They're a good time. They are a good time.
I listened to the first episode. I haven't heard the latest episode yet, but it's a really good show, guys. You should definitely check it out. It's something you want to listen to. It's if you're all running errands, you have AirPods, pop them in. It's
Yeah, I listen
good
to it in the
listen.
car. I listen, and if you're into that stuff, it's yeah, it's research based. So it's yeah, the very very talented Shay with the logo there. It's that's our pod page. We have a pod page. That's scare your pants off. You can do a Google search. We pop up in
Because
Google.
I just did Google and iHeartRadio came up.
Yeah, it's
Let's see what
yeah,
else.
very talented Shay. Oh, and we have if you're interested, we have a Facebook group. Shay created a Facebook group that you can join, and anybody is welcome to join. And you come and get the latest news and artwork that Shay's a very talented artist. I mean, she's talented at everything. I mean,
Actually, she made a caricature of me.
it's so good.
Fucking amazing.
It's so good.
I
It's
told her I would pay for that. She's like,
it's
no. You know, she's always been a great artist, but like now she's hardcore now. And I
yeah.
said, dude, I'm gonna frame that bad. But I said, you better autograph it. I want that signed. And she's like, I will bring it to you next week because she's coming over next weekend also. And you know,
Yeah, that was so good. She was like, she's like, I've been trying to, work on my caricatures. And she's like, I did Roy. What do you think? And I was like, that is so good. That is
unbelievable.
she could totally be one of those people on the boardwalk charging for the caricature. Like, I mean, but she does other art too. She's also a writer. She's written books, published author.
She's a legit artist.
Yeah, she is. She's kind of a renaissance woman when it comes to art. She's just very, very talented. I'm so lucky to be able to do this podcast with her. It's a lot of fun.
She's an amazing woman, without a doubt. So yeah, they have that going on. And the guys, listen to the show. It's really, really good. It's really amazing. So give it a shot. You will not regret it. So speaking of regrets, The Rental. We watched The Rental. I had never heard of this movie until I did a search and this popped up as a popular search. And I looked it up. I was like, huh. So I mentioned it to Tom.
I had never heard of it.
Yeah, Tom said he never heard of it. It was like, all right. So this ought to be interesting.
I'm surprised that we had never heard of it. Being horror fans and with the cast and director that they have, you would have thought we would have. But it did come out during COVID. It was 2020. So, I mean, it was a weird time. The last couple of years. Yeah, and like movies were releasing on apps and shit and not really in theaters because they weren't open. It was a strange time. So I guess that probably why we didn't hear about it. So
it didn't help. Yeah. So this came out, I guess, in 2020. It was an hour and 28 minutes. The director is Dave Franco.
James Franco's brother.
Yep.
Yeah, he's. I mean, what's God? He's done a ton of. He's in a ton of movies too. What did I? Oh, and he was in the After Party Apple TV show that I really really enjoyed. Tiffany Haddish. Like
what a great show.
You watched it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I knew you would. I was like, when I watched after the first episode, I was like, this is a Roy show. If I like, this is something I think Roy would really, really like because it's funny and mystery, good cast, and he was great in it as the Xavier.
Yes.
And
I love shows. It doesn't happen enough nowadays where a show has a cast worthy of a great show. Like it was well written, well directed, well acted, cinematography was amazing. The atmosphere of the episodes were amazing. Tiffany Haddish, her comedic,
genius.
You want to call it genius. It's like it all just melded into a pot and a pot of goodness. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah, that was kind of stumbled on that show too. It was like I was messing around on the Apple TV because I was looking for something to watch when it came out because it's been out for a while now, and said, "Oh, this looks kind of interesting." And yeah, it became one of my favorite shows. I couldn't wait for the next episode to drop on the Friday.
Luckily for me, I watched it when it all dropped, so I was binging
Yeah,
it.
that's nice because yeah, it would you get to the ending because it's so good. I mean, it's not super long episodes anyway, but it's so good it even goes quicker too. You know what I mean? You're watching and you're like, damn, it's already over. So
That's a sure sign of a great show when you can watch it and you're like, it's over already.
yeah,
You're almost depressed. It's
yep,
like, what
yeah,
more?
yeah. I gotta wait a week. Ugh.
So yeah, Dave Frankel directed it, and the cast stars Alison Brie. I
Love
love
her.
me some Alison Brie.
What a good actress or actor. She is so good, so talented. Community. Um, God, she was in Mad Men. I mean, she's in every Glow. She was so good in Glow. Learned
Yep.
how to wrestle for Glow.
Yeah, that was a show that didn't get enough life.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they canceled the last. They were supposed to do one more, wrap up the
Yep.
whole story, and then they canceled it because of COVID. She's yeah, she could do drama, comedy. She's so good. I mean, she
hmm
does it all. I mean, she's hilarious in Community.
Great actress. And
Yeah.
when I saw her in it, I'm like, well, it's got hope then.
Yep.
It's got promise. So that was nice. And Sheila Vand, I'm like, she looks familiar to me. Did she look familiar to you?
Yes.
Do you know what she's been on? Because I'm like, she looks so familiar to me.
Let's see.
I'm going into her Wikipedia now. Oh, she's in Agro. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I know I've seen her and stuff, but
Yeah, she has one of those faces. When I saw her, I was like, I know her from something. She's
yeah,
Iranian American,
let's see.
and that's something this movie delves into is like, the discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought about that too. Like, if you try to rent an Airbnb, and if you're not what the person is looking for, you could easily be like, I ain't renting to that person.
Yeah.
That damn Indian or that Negro, whatever. You could easily be like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for the guy. He did it to the kid's brother like 5 minutes later. So, oh yeah, it's available. And told her it wasn't available.
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean it is their right, unfortunately, too. They go it's like ugh, it's
Yep.
gross. People acting like that. That's just find it so gross. I just yeah, ugh.
And I believe Dan Stevens got top billing.
He got top billing over Alison Brie and the kid from Shameless there and
Yes. I'm like, he looks familiar to me too, but I don't know. Again, I don't know.
yeah.
Downtown Abbey, I never saw that. Not in the museum. I saw that, but I don't remember that movie. Beauty and the Beast. Nope, never saw it. Marshall, I saw that. The Man Who Invented Christmas. Nope.
Oh, I seen European Song Contest. That's what I know him from.
Legion. That's where I saw him from. He was the lead in Legion.
I never really watched that show.
It was horrible.
I
Well, I thought it
it,
was
it,
horrible.
it didn't look good. I never got. But I saw him in the European that was a Will Ferrell movie. There, I saw.
Oh, did you?
That's what I
What the
recognize.
hell's going on here? Look at that! Look at that hair! Holy Jesus! I wouldn't be smiling if I was him.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's. I thought it was funny, but it's it was kind of stupid funny.
Yeah, sometimes it's good though.
But I like Jeremy Allen White. I think he's a good actor.
He,
And
he you know, I think on Shameless, he was one of the top 2 or 3 best actors on the show,
yeah.
which had some great actors on that show.
Well, yeah, because you got William H. Macy and you had
Yes.
Emmy Rossum. Emmy
Yep.
and I mean the whole cast was great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
That's what I mean. Like even the young kids, they
and
grew into really, really good actors. The one who's I know we're getting off into a different tangent here, but the redheaded kid there, he's doing a lot of big stuff now.
Yeah, yeah, he was in Gotham. I remember that too. And then
That's right.
the one sister, the one of the younger sisters, she's on the Connors now,
Yep. Which is a good show, by the way. I actually like that show.
and she was on some. She was, oh yeah, and which she was doing, and Shameless, what was doing its last season. I think she was on both, and
Yep.
then yeah, they're all. I mean, I
They're
haven't
here,
seen much
actually.
of the younger one, but yeah, no, I think he's great, and I thought he was good in this film because I haven't seen him in much besides Shameless. Yeah, I just haven't seen him in many movies, but
When I saw Alison Brie and him, I was like, "Well, I don't care how bad this movie is. Like, I gotta watch it now, regardless."
yeah.
Big fans of both of them.
You keep saying that, Roy. So, did you not like the movie?
I actually like the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
So did I, kind of. But the way you kept saying it, I wasn't sure if you were like didn't like it or
I was
not.
trying to keep some suspense. I my personal thoughts. Well, let's do an overview real quick. It's a very simple overview.
Yeah,
Um, these two brothers, one of the brothers is married, the younger brother, and they bring their girlfriends and wife to a Airbnb for a little vacation, a weekend getaway, and things didn't go as planned.
yep.
Essentially,
That's
it's
essentially it.
it's
All hell breaks.
typical. It's your typical format. There's nothing,
Yeah,
you,
nothing
you kind
profound.
of,
Yeah,
yeah, it's nothing shocking about it. Nothing surprising.
but
Um,
then what? Yeah, I mean that's the basic bare bones outline of it. But then once you get into it, like you said, there are some cool things like the
yes,
can't, it's them dealing with the racism, like you said, a little.
yeah. The girlfriend was all over that after episode. Whenever the person who rented them the house would come by, so yeah, you wouldn't rent to me, huh? It's
Yeah,
like, all right, lady. You know.
it was
Now let me
that.
ask you a question. Now,
Yeah,
in the movie, and I'm going to be bouncing around here. Um, when if you're renting an Airbnb
yeah,
and the owner said he's going to come by with the telescope for them, remember that scene when he's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I'm going to bring this telescope by,"
yeah,
and he dropped it off. I'm like, why wouldn't he leave it on the porch?
yeah. Well, they even comment on it in the movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm like, that's a good point. Like, if I'm renting the thing, I don't want you coming to my. If I am coming, no, unless you
yeah,
tell me I'm going to come in the house. Don't come
yeah,
in without me telling me.
and then to not, just to leave it, not talk to them, anything. You're like, hey, I'm here, I'm dropping it. No, just bring it in the house, leave it, and take off. Yeah, that was very weird. And she had the great point. The other three are like, oh, that's nice, we got it, blah, thinking nothing. And she's like, or it's a little fucking weird that he dropped it off, didn't tell, didn't say anything, just left it in the house and took off. Didn't, and it was a great point because that is strange. Why wouldn't you leave it, or why wouldn't you, wait till they're there, and then
Hmm.
you bring it in and. But
And like Tom said, like you go, the story gets filled in as you go. Like you have the sexual tension between the older brother
and the
and the
younger
younger
brother's
brother's
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Yep,
Yeah,
the Indian girl, the Iranian girl. Yeah, you could tell when you look at the telescope, something's going to happen with these two. You can
yeah,
always see that
yeah.
happen.
They
They were
built it.
drinking, doing drugs. They were
Yeah,
basically partying. They were partying for the week. They were partying.
yeah.
You know.
That was
So
their vacation, doing
yeah,
Molly and
yeah.
drinking, and which is
There was tension there, boy.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
did,
Oh
and
yeah. Hot
and
tub.
you knew
Now,
though as soon as they got in the hot. Well, actually, you kind of knew right when the girl went to bed early because she was like Alison
yes.
Brie, right? It was like, oh, I'm gonna go, so you know, really party tomorrow and go out during the day and whatever. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, they built and then they did, they did it. It's kind of messed up too. That's your younger brother, or it's, but I guess it happens.
And like and things happen between them. I won't get into that, but like I've heard. I mean, it's like the young people. They should know about this. Like, you go to an Airbnb, the first thing you do is look for cameras.
Yeah.
You hear horror stories all the time about creepy people putting cameras up, or you know, just doing creepy things, putting holes in the wall. I'd be scoping that place out like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it in this day and age where, I
Yes.
mean, you can get cameras in anything and they're, really good cameras the size of like a needle, the head of a needle and it's eye of a needle or whatever. And it's yeah, that's why it's like I've never done Airbnb. I mean, I may someday, but I'm a little apprehensive, because you never know.
Should we mention what happens?
Oh yeah, yeah. This movie's been out for 2 years. I mean,
Oh, that's right, Dirt.
yeah.
Where are you
So
people? Watch the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So
So
you want to tell it?
oh yeah, I thought there's a camera in the shower head, right?
Yeah, right in the
So
shower. Yeah,
yeah. So like we said, they built the tension, and they kiss, but then they, you know, something happens. One goes in. Did they hear a noise or something? And yeah, I think they heard a
yeah,
noise. They heard it or something like that. And then, she goes into the bathroom, and then they end up having sex in the shower. And then the next day they find out there's cameras in the shower. So right in the shower head.
and
So
then they blame the guy who rented the house,
yep.
and then the younger brother who thought the guy was messing with his girlfriend beats the crap out of the guy, and they
Yeah. Oh
basically
yeah.
think,
That was pretty gnarly too. He
yeah,
just fuck it. He
messed
really
him
laid into
up.
that guy, beat him
Messed,
up.
yep,
That
messed
was
him up
cool.
big time.
And then, it's pretty cool how the guy, like, where was the,
Where
where
what?
was the guy that he was so easily able to get into that bathroom afterwards, after they had all left the bathroom, after he kicked the shit out of them?
That was puzzling to me. He just appeared there.
Yeah, like how it would. I get it could be quiet, but it seemed really quick. Like how, and that was one thing. The layout of the house kind of had me confused on the movie, I will say. Because then she finds the video later, and sees them, the video of them doing it in the shower, but
Hmm.
um, which is in a part of the house. Had they been in that part of that house when where she found the video playing?
No,
So that's what I found weird was like there was all these parts of the house
it was
that
only in certain rooms. They've only been in certain rooms during the movie.
yeah.
The
So
bedroom, the living room, and then outside. That was it.
yeah, okay,
'Cause I was like, "Hey, another room. Look at this."
yeah. So
Yeah,
that
and
was
you
cool.
get the feeling there were more rooms than even that, because it was a pretty big place.
It was a big place. It was weird how they did it because it
It
was
didn't
like,
show you
oh
much.
yeah,
It was very strange. But yeah, the guy appeared out of nowhere, and he smothers the guy. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, what's up with it? Because
which
at first
was
I thought, oh, it's his brother. I thought it was his brother. But oh, it's gotta be his brother.
yeah, no,
Then I'm like, well, maybe not, because he's smothering the guy.
it's the bad guy and he smothers them, which is kind of genius. And then they all think they killed him.
Yep.
That's pretty.
And then hiding the body. I'm like, are you guys idiots? They push him off over the side there.
Yeah,
Let's go in the ocean. He falls, lives on a rock. I'm like, idiots. I'm like, that's what you
yeah,
know. At that point, you know it's over.
yep,
We're screwed.
yep,
Let's turn ourselves in and move on with life because we're screwed. You know,
exactly.
it was like really. It was.
Well, once we got to that point, the movie just kind of started moving real quick. It felt
Yeah.
like to me, it was like once you got to the point where he smothers the guy, then it's like it all unravels and we're getting the kills at that point. Pretty rapid. I mean, like you said, it's only an hour and 28 minutes. I think you said it was. I mean, that's not even 90 minutes, which is fine too. I like movies that aren't super long. So
Yeah.
it went quick. The movie.
And go ahead.
No, I was just saying it went at a good clip.
Yeah, it was like even at the beginning, like the story, them telling the story was in. I thought it interesting. You know, even though there weren't many killings because there's only 4 people there actually, but
Yeah.
my favorite killing was the one with the hammer. The guy's head bad. They're like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Just
brutal.
yeah. That was pretty brutal. Turned it. Ugh.
Yep, yep. It was
Oof.
like, all right, he ain't getting up from that. That ain't happening.
I thought Alison Brie was gonna live. Like when she took it
Yeah,
off, I was like, finally. In a movie, we have a smart character that's just like, fuck this, I'm out, not sticking around or anything. And like, of course, she hits he had put
yep.
out one of those that strip, the a spike strip there, so her car crashes and then she kills it. But I was like, oh, that's cool. They're gonna finally do it in a movie where somebody's just smart enough to get the fuck out of Dodge and live. But
No, just when you think it's over, not yet, not yet.
ugh,
But yeah, it was one of those movies where once it got going, it moved fast. It was like it felt almost like, all right, movie's 3/4 done. We gotta get this moving, get this cut together. So like they don't want it. They seem like they didn't want it longer.
yeah.
So they kind of cut it together. Where it was like boom, boom, boom. Things that are
And then they
moving
have
along.
the credit scene. So it's which could have been so it didn't need to be even be that could have been part of the movie.
Right.
So yeah, it did seem probably editing, budgeting. Because, like we said, it came out in 2020, and we know that was a tough time for movies and everything going on too with
Right.
budgeting. They couldn't release to the theaters where they're going to make a bunch of money. Now they're going to release to apps where it's you're not making as much because we all know movies that they're like $20 a movie now, just to go see a movie. So, and that's before you buy a drink and some candy or
Hmm.
popcorn or
Yep.
something. So it's so that could have played into it. It could have been like a big budget. They had to get it down as quick and or as short. I mean, as short as possible or whatever. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Just speculating, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the movie? Like, what is your overall view?
I liked it. So I liked it. I mean, it was nothing like genre defying, or it was you know sort of your typical paint by number, but it's had cool stories and themes like dealing with Airbnb, something modern. You know what I mean? Cameras like that. It's so overall I liked it. It just it it was good. Like that's what like I'm not mad I watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it too much after I watched it or
Yeah.
anything.
It felt to me like it was just a movie that was made for the majority of viewers. Like, meaning that, like, if you're a hardcore horror movie fan, it's probably not going to do it for you. It was a good story, it was a good movie. But if you want the blood and guts or the jump scares or the thriller where you're on the edge of your seat, this is not that movie.
Yeah,
It's just a generic, in a good way, made for a horror movie. Like I know some couple girls that I work with who don't like scary movies. This is a movie that they can watch. It's
yeah,
just not one of those movies that's going to scare you.
yeah.
And
It's not about the jump scare. It's more about the mystery.
yeah,
So
like
it's
who is it?
yeah, you want to know who the killer is, and yeah, you know that people are going to die along the way, and they die in cool ways and stuff, but kind of. Um, so what do you think overall?
Other than what I just said, I think that it was a good movie. It was we basically viewed this movie because it was a highly searched movie on YouTube, and so I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting I don't know really what I was expecting, but it being the cast that it had, I'm going to assume that the people that were searching for it was because of the cast and
That's what
not
I
the
think.
actual movie.
That's what I
We,
think.
yeah.
Maybe Dave Franco doing Dave Franco searches, Alison Brie searches,
Hmm.
stuff like that. That would make sense. Because yeah, like because you had told me about, I hadn't heard of it, but you said it was a really popular one, and it's not a movie where you would be like, oh, I understand why this is so popular. There's nothing about it that's like, oh, that's so awesome. It's fine. It's a fine movie.
Yep. Very good movie. But what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10 or 1 to 5? Because don't we
Let's-
normally do 5?
Yeah, we can do 5.
Right. I'm just trying to, or what do we normally do? I was trying to go by
Well,
what
we
we
started
normally.
with a 5, then we moved to 10 last one because everything was like between 4 and 5 pretty much.
Oh, okay. So 10. Yeah, I don't remember that we did that. Oh God, that's tougher now because I've been used to the 5 scale.
We can do 1 to 5. I'm easy either way.
If it was out of 5, I don't know, like 1.75,
Boy,
2,
you liked it?
2 ish. Yeah, no, like I said, it's
Wow.
fine, but it's that's why out of 10, I didn't know how to do it. I mean, what would that be, like a 4 out of 10? You know what I mean? But I feel like,
That's why I was switching to 10 because I like the movie. So to me, 3 is middle of the road,
yeah,
and that's what it was to me. It was like middle of the road, so I'd give it a 3.
all right. Out of 10, I would give it, because I feel like 4 is low out of
Yeah.
10 for it. But if I was going just, going from 5 to 10, that's what
Mhm.
I would put it close to. So yeah, for me, if it were out of 10, maybe I give it a 5. Write down just it's fine. 5.
I was going to say the exact same thing, and the reason being I was going to give it a 5 is because of the acting and the actors in the movie.
Yeah, they are good.
Um, while I like this in the story, you take away the actors in the story. Any movie you have crap. I'm saying if you substitute those actors with me and you, for instance,
Yeah, it's not.
and
Yeah.
you substitute the story for a crappier story, you 1 or 2 would be very well worth it, even out of 10. So, but I gave it a 5 because of the people in the movie, Dave Franco, and the story.
Yeah.
The actors in the story really kept me from getting me a lower score.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where I don't think anybody would watch it and hate it.
Yeah,
It might not be your cup of tea, but I don't think anybody would be like, "Oh, that was the most rotten movie I've ever seen." Because and the actors do play a part in that.
and if you're a guy, Alison Brie's pretty cute. She's nothing to sneeze at, to stare at. And the other girl was cute too, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, good movie. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I think it's a movie that if you are a guy who's dating a girl who doesn't like scary movies, this is a fun little movie you can watch together. It's not going to scare your pants off. It might scare her a little bit if she's not into that kind of stuff, but not to the point where she's going to punch you in the face or anything.
Punch you
You
in the
know,
face. That's funny.
I dated a girl once who told me she loved horror movies, and then every scary movie we'd ever watch, she'd cover her face. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I don't like horror movies." Then why'd you tell me you like horror movies? I've been watching horror movies with you for months.
Mm,
So
that's
then
funny.
this is a movie I would watch with her because it's not that scary.
Yeah.
So guys, once you guys watch this movie, comment below if you actually do watch it. I want to know what you guys think. Out of 5, what would you rate it? And out of 10, what would you rate it? Let us know in the comments below. If you've seen this movie, what do you think? Are you a fan of Alison Brie? Do you like this movie? What do you think? Comment below. Let us know what you think of the movie. And make sure you comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And watch Tom's. I'm sorry, listen to Tom's new podcast. Scare your pants off. What was it? Our
Scare your
American
pants
road
off.
trip.
Our American road trip. Yeah, definitely
Yes,
check them out on
check it out
all
on
major
all the
podcasts.
podcatchers. Check it out. It's a great, great show. It's a quick show. It's a quick listen. Do it. Do it or
Do it.
else. All right. So for Tom and myself, everybody, have a good night and welcome back.